what could really infuriate me right now? What do you think when it comes to Premier League football? Watching it.
Well, I don't know.
I guess at random. Go on. Anything. Think.
VAR.
Close. Goalkeepers trying to kick it out from the back and play football.
Yeah, goalkeepers deciding that they're all actually Franz Beckenbauer.
And the reason I bring that up is obviously we're going to talk Fulham Arsenal, and I was watching the game Fulham Brighton, and the Brighton goalkeeper. I mean, I don't even support Fulham or Brighton. I was going to smash my TV. I was like, what's he doing?
No, I know. It's totally infuriating. Yeah. I find it really weird. You know, when we talk about goalkeepers and we actually prioritise what they're like with their feet rather than what they're like with their hands.
Insane.
He's excellent distribution. The geezer can't catch, but fantastic distribution. I don't care what his distribution is like. The bloke can't catch.
It's got mad. I mean, you mentioned Neville Southall about an hour ago. He wouldn't make a Premier League squad nowadays. Because they'll say, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Because they were like, 1 second, can he kick a ball? Can he distribute?
I know what you mean.
And that wasn't his strong point. All right, let's talk Fulham versus Arsenal. Fantastic win for Fulham against Brighton. Iwobi with a couple there. He's looking good.
Iwobi, I know.
He's stepped up, hasn't he, massively?
Look, Fulham are an excellent team. I think they've got a really good manager. They're capable of surprising a few people. I think that they could potentially, if things go their way, make it into the European conversation. Yeah. And saying that about Fulham, saying that about where they were, say, even a year ago, it's huge. Like, you know, when they started last season and they had the distraction, remember there was a lot of talk of Marco Silva potentially going to Saudi. Yeah. Mitrovic obviously went, and they didn't quite know who they were. This year, they've had a great transfer window. Marco Silva's been totally committed to the club. There's been no conversation around him moving on, and they are reaping the rewards for it. Like they're an excellent team, capable of giving anyone a game. Yeah,
honestly, you look at some of you said they've had a fantastic transfer window. I agree. Obviously, Anderson coming in from Palace, and Palace, by the way, missed him a lot. Emile Smith-Rowe.
I mean, Smith-Rowe is probably the signing of the summer. If you weigh it all up, the amount of money,
value for money.
Yeah, if you weigh it all up and try and fairly award signing of the summer.
That's a good question. That
I think it's probably Emile Smith-Rowe.
Really, really good question.
I don't think anybody can see, if you were to work out, there'll be like a formula for doing this, like pounds per contribution or whatever. And I think that Emile Smith-Rowe going to Fulham was one of the most astute bits of business that anyone's done.
I actually can't think of anyone else that's.
I mean, I don't know, Jadon Sancho's at Chelsea now, isn't he? You know, like, if you think about the other moves that were made. I can't think of any
big one. That's a good shout, that is, Emile Smith-Rowe.
If you think about the other moves that were made, I think...
proud of that, ain't you?
I think Emile Smith-Rowe, I just think he's an excellent player. Fulham are doing so well.
Yeah, but they're
going to get battered this weekend. They're going to get battered this weekend.
After all that, they play an Arsenal team who've turned into Stoke City with a bit of skill.
No, see, this I find really weird. This approach to Arsenal, you know, this disparaging theory that suggests that Arsenal aren't a good side because they're excellent at set pieces.
Who said that? Who's been saying that?
By the way, I
didn't say that.
I wasn't necessarily saying you were, but there does seem to be a theory that Arsenal are. Well, I think when you liken them to Stoke City,
just because
presumably you're doing that.
Presumably
you're doing that in a slightly sneery way.
No. You're not Stoke City were fantastic at set pieces.
You're not going. I'm going to compliment Mikel Arteta. I'm going to compare him to Tony Pulis.
Tony Pulis is a good manager.
No, you're not doing that. Don't lie.
What, is Arteta a better manager than Tony Pulis?
I mean, they're
1 second.
they're
Answer
different.
The
Yeah, he is. I think he is a better manager than Tony Pulis. Yeah, yeah, of course he is. But equally, when you draw a parallel between Pulis and Arteta, you can't pretend that you're doing that in a favourable way.
I'm just talking about
what are you doing?
Set pieces. That's all I'm talking about, right? Stoke were famous for long throws and corners. Arsenal are famous for what right now? Free kicks and corners. Is that not the case?
I think that there's something very impressive in the way that Arsenal won the game against Manchester United at home.
Yeah, I thought the corners were fantastic.
I think the way that they won that game, though, is actually bigger. In some way, I think that beating Manchester United in the way that they did, scoring 2 goals from a combined distance of about 4 yards, I think that is a more impressive win than, say, going to West Ham and slapping them for 5. Yeah,
I think, especially Man United, coming in with this wave of Amorim and everything's all sorted, which it clearly isn't. I thought it was a big result for Arsenal. And
it was mature.
Yeah.
It was stature, wasn't it? It was presence, it was determination. It's the sort of performance that over the years Arsenal perhaps wouldn't have had. You know, when Arsenal had a slightly vulnerable underbelly, when there was a vulnerability to them.
Not anymore.
That's the kind of game that they wouldn't have won. That game finishes 1-1.
Arsenal physically, I mean, mentally, we'll wait to see what happens at the end of the season, but physically, I mean, this is a team where everyone looks like they're over 6 foot. That they're a massive, massive team. And, I mean, Chelsea obviously won their game. Obviously, Arsenal kicked off late, didn't they, against United? I think 8:15. Yeah. Chelsea and Liverpool were 7:30 kickoffs. No. So they would have known about the 7th. They would have known that, okay, we need to get a result here. And Arsenal got a result.
Grinding your way to victory. And however you want to position it, like Mikel Arteta turning into Avon Barksdale and like loving his corners.
Avon Barksdale.
Right. Right? The fact that he's done that, it doesn't matter. Like, he's found a way to win the game, and it deserves celebration.
I'm hoping that wire reference thing over people's head. That was a fantastic one.
Yeah, when Avon Barksdale goes,
stolen that one.
I'm a straight up gangster, and I want my corners.
You stolen that one. That's a great one. All right, Fulham versus Arsenal prediction.
Fulham versus Arsenal. Arsenal win the game 3-0.
Oh.
They do, don't they? Like, think how many goals they've scored of late.
So
like they scored 5 goals against West Ham, 5 different goal scorers. They scored 5 goals against Sporting Lisbon. Yeah. 5-0 there, 5-0 there, 3-0 Forest, 2-0.
Why does everyone say they need a striker then all the time? Why does that always crop up? Every time
because
they miss a couple, it always comes up. But yet you look how many goals they score. You don't need a striker.
It's because it isn't about scoring goals. Like, I think they've scored over 100 this calendar year. They've scored over 100 goals. I think Timber's goal against Manchester United was the 100th goal that Mikel Arteta's team have scored this calendar year. The reason why they need a goal scorer, it's not when they're slapping West Ham or whatever. It's when it's 0-0 in the last 10 minutes at Anfield.
No, yeah, you're right. Big Champions League game.
Yeah.
One of those ones. Big away game. Who's going to nick it for us? All right, Fulham Arsenal, you're saying Arsenal win that one easily. Crystal Palace, Man City. Now, this should sound easy. This should be a case of Man City have got back to winning ways. Kevin De Bruyne starts, they win. And I think it is that. I think Kevin De Bruyne starts, they win. It's still Man City. And this is where they go on their run, where they win 100 games in a row.
Do you think that's what happens?
Yeah.
Do you?
I'm not even joking. I do think this is what happens, yeah.
You like the idea of Jack Grealish as a central midfielder?
I do. I don't mind it. He's controlling. He's comfortable on the ball. I mean, I think we've seen...
Just a good footballer, isn't he?
Yeah,
of course, he can play right back as well.
I look at Gravenberch and I feel like you can just have a good footballer in there. And I feel like Jack could do it in the midfield. Not permanently, but...
The result against Forest was actually big, wasn't it?
Forest are a good team. Forest are a good team. They've got injuries, though, Forest.
It's the way that City did it as well. They made light work of it.
They made it look like how we would have thought it would have looked like if you didn't know what City had been doing for the last 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
City, Forest, City smashed them up then.
City are 1-0 up after 10 minutes. De Bruyne scores midway through that half, and then they sew it up in the second half, and basically nothing else happens for half an hour. You know, the result was in the bag with half an hour left. So yeah, it was a big result for City. But I think this is the one. Like, what we will find out this weekend is, have they turned a corner, or are they still as vulnerable and porous as they were against Tottenham? We will find out this weekend. And I agree with you. I think they're going to be back to firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and Palace, I know they beat Ipswich, which I don't know how much stock you put into that, but Palace are still all over the place.
What are you thinking about Erling Haaland? Do you think Haaland scores this weekend, for example?
Yeah.
Can you believe?
You know why he does? You know why? Because he's running mates back, De Bruyne.
And he's a flat-track bully.
He's a flat-track bully, and De Bruyne is going to put everything on the plate for him. He's had no one to do it. Bernardo Silva's been missing. Foden's gone missing.
It's amazing how easy it was for Van Dijk, though. It's amazing how easy it was.
Van Dijk, though, you're talking about.
No, but, I mean, Haaland touched the ball 4 times. One of them was a kick-off in that first half.
Yeah, that's because he's up against the best centre-back the Premier League's ever seen. All right, scoreline prediction. Scoreline prediction.
You think I can't just let that one go? Because that's nonsense.
We've got to get through 2 more games and we've got 2 minutes.
My score prediction is Manchester City win the game 2-0.
Okay. Leicester City versus Brighton. This is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Did you see him coming into the change room and dancing with the lads? Yeah.
Did you hear what the Leicester fans were singing?
Go on.
I thought it was quite funny.
Rude? Oh.
No. It's, you know that Rihanna song, Rude Boy?
No.
Come on, Rude Boy, can you keep us up?
Oh, okay. That's not a good one.
Come on, Rude Boy, like Ruud van Nistelrooy. Come on, Rude Boy, can you keep us up? I thought it's quite funny.
Look, it's coming.
Yeah, I'm up for Rihanna on the terraces. I'm all in favour of that.
Yeah, I like that. They need him. Obviously, they need him. He's obviously going to come in and give them that injection straight away. And you know what? Ruud does have presence.
Yeah.
He's got his Ruud van Nistelrooy. He has presence. And I think do that.
Yeah, I think you're probably onto something. In the way that like Coventry's first team will be Chelsea's reserve team.
That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Coventry are about to sign like Mikhailo Mudryk or something, aren't they?
Honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. In terms of this game though, I don't know. How good do you think Ruud van Nistelrooy is? Do you think it's a good appointment? When this one was announced, did you think this was an impressive appointment by Leicester?
Yeah, it's a step up from what, unfortunately, they had. I mean, Steve Cooper was a dead man walking, being a Nottingham Forest manager.
I couldn't believe that video of the Leicester players.
I ain't seen it.
You seen it?
No.
They were like celebrating. They actually went out.
I hate that.
Harry Winks and that.
Did he?
Yeah, celebrating.
Nah,
you know, in a nightclub, like when it's someone's, you know what, like young trendy people do when it's someone's birthday, like they
bottles
get bottles and all that. Like, Yeah, they were sort of pining for Enzo Maresca, celebrating.
Nah, that's wrong.
Poor, innit?
That's
really
very,
poor.
very poor. Brighton, obviously.
Brighton beat Leicester, don't they?
Yeah, but that hiccup against Fulham, their goalkeeper continues to try and play suicide balls to defenders in wrong positions. Who knows? But I'm with you. I think Brighton get the job done. Final one, El Saki go West Ham United versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Lopetegui, I feel bad here. Lopetegui, Gary O'Neill. Gary O'Neill, manager of the month in November, by the way. And with that result against Everton, people are saying time's up.
Yeah.
Did you see when he went over as well to the Wolves fans?
He's very brave for that.
What, mate? No, but he turned back very quickly, didn't he? He's like, oh.
I know.
Maybe don't go there.
It's just gone so wrong for him. It's just gone so wrong. I mean, I really want Wolves to win.
Yeah.
I really want Gary O'Neill to get this one over the line, but I don't know. Like basically, West Ham's side is just so much better than Wolves.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, like you take Cunha out of that team, and you just don't really know where to look.
Honestly, there ain't much in this West Ham team. West Ham have got a lot of good players.
Good players,
mate.
Really good players.
Like, I would take 3 or 4 of their players. Do you know what I mean?
No, they've got excellent players, and they shouldn't be in this situation that they're in. And part of the reason that they are in this situation is because of the limited skill set of Julian Lopetegui. But I think he will get over the line on this one just because his team is better.
Yeah, that game live on talkSPORT Monday, 8 o'clock, West Ham versus Wolves. Whoever loses, are they gone? Managerial wise,
I think they're both.
Think
gone
Gary O'Neill
anyway.
has got a bit of credit in the bank because of winning the manager. He won the manager of the month trophy just 4 days ago.
I think ultimately they're both going to get the sack this season, and
That's
whenever it
happen,
happens, it happens. But there's no way that Julian Lopetegui is West Ham manager at the end of the season. Surely he's so out of his
Potter,
depth.
supposedly, rumours are circling that Graham Potter's already spoke to the West Ham owners.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Potter any better? Am I missing?
No, I don't necessarily.
Have I missed what Potter's done? And have I missed it all?
No.
Did it happen during COVID?
I don't
forgot
quite
about
understand. Also, you know, when you think about what West Ham fans are about, when you think about the way that everybody knows West Ham fans, right? You get in a black cab in London, you're always going to meet one, right? You know what they're like. Graham Potter's not that, is he?
True, by the way.
Graham Potter. I mean, I say that my dad's a cab driver. He's a Chelsea fan, but I don't really see Graham Potter as being representative of West Ham. Like, think about what West Ham fans want. Think about their idols. Yeah. When you talk to a West Ham fan, you go, you talk football. Within 2 minutes, they're going to bring up Bobby Moore and Paolo Di Canio. Yeah. Graham Potter is nothing like either of those. Like, he is never going to be a hero to West Ham fans.
A sexy manager.
No, he's quite an uninspiring man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, do you know they needed?
Even with the makeover.
They needed De Zerbi.
That's it.
De Zerbi at West
It
Ham.
would be naughty.
So
it would only last the season.
Yeah.
But it would be an exciting season.
Yeah, they needed De Zerbi.
Maybe they go shopping in Europe for a manager. Good managers out there.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.